We'll be getting started here in a couple seconds, so appreciate your patience. They're just putting their microphones on and we'll be in business.
Welcome to Wine Wednesday kickoff. Cheers. Welcome.
Tonight we are going to be talking about first-time homebuyers, and then we're going to be kicking it over to Mark to talk about
Credit repair. So, Erin comes to Colorado from Arizona, and she's also with eXp Realty. And we welcome her.
Thank you.
To our office. So we're at the Outpost right now, enjoying our glass of wine in our office space. And we wanted to talk about what is preventing you from buying a house. First-time buyers, what is preventing them from buying a house?
I would say fear sometimes.
Fear?
Fear of not knowing the process, not knowing what they need to do, not knowing how to get started.
Perfect.
Yeah. What do you think?
Lots of excuses.
Yeah. True. Always waiting for that better time, right?
Yeah. I don't have enough money.
Yep.
I have crappy credit.
Yes. Yep. I don't have enough money saved up, there's just a million excuses.
A million excuses, yeah. So we want to welcome you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about being a first-time home buyer. And really, it kind of takes place for any home buyer, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because the home buying process can be scary, no matter if you've been in the home if you've been renting and you're a first-time home buyer, or if you've been in your home for 10 or 20 years. It's a big undertaking. It's a big step to take to even start that process. So
Yeah. And I know firsthand because I just helped Aaron find a house in Colorado.
So I know firsthand that after being in a home, it's hard to just suddenly decide that, we're gonna buy this home, and what are the steps we need to take? Do we have enough money? Do we have enough down payments? All of that. So
Yeah. So let me ask you, for everybody who's watching, and obviously everybody here, let me ask you to give me a color, any color. Green. Okay, color's green. So look around and tell me how many things, wherever you're at, do you see green? That's green. Okay, you got it? Okay, perfect. And so how many things did you come up with? 50. Okay, we got 50 things out here that are green. So whatever your number is, that's cool. Now tell me right away, what about red? What did you see when I told you to focus on green? What did you see that was red? No, you can't look around. So here's the deal. I want to reinforce whatever you focus on grows. It's similar to like when you buy a car and everybody around has the same kind of car. And it's a process of you're putting all your energy, all your focus to that. So once I said focus on green, that's what you did. You focused on green. And when you were looking for red, you weren't looking for red. So that's what happens is like when somebody focuses on something,
right,
whether good or bad or ugly, that's what they're focusing on.
Yeah, it kind of goes to what you put out into the universe. To me, it's kind of the same theory of that. Like if you're focused on it and that's what your goal is, and that's what your intention is, and that's what you see. Like you said with the car,
everybody does it, right?
Car, and all of a sudden everyone had the same car.
That's what everybody does. So if your focus is that you're not able to buy a house, guess what? You're not going to be able to buy a house.
Right. You have to set your goals. It is a little bit about goal setting, and in stepping back and taking a look at what what your value is, what you're setting out to want to do. If your goal is to buy a house, then you can do it.
Exactly. And that's what we want to focus on here.
Yep. So what are the steps? What's the first step, Kourtney?
Well, obviously, the first step is to apply for a mortgage. You don't know where you are unless you know where you are, right? So the first step is to apply for a mortgage.
Yep. Talk to a lender. If you need lender referrals, Kourtney has some, I have some. But talking to a lender is the first step in knowing where you are in your financial, place. So it can tell you what you can expect to be paying for fees, what you can expect to be paying for your mortgage, and what you can afford to pay for your mortgage.
That's right. And that's what I wanted to talk about too, is like, what are you comfortable paying on a monthly basis? Where does that fit?
Right.
In Colorado, prices may be a little bit higher. They have appreciated within the last couple years.
Yeah.
But we've got agents all over the U.S. and comparatively to New York, pretty affordable place.
Right. Exactly. Probably to Chicago, pretty affordable place. I just came from Phoenix, and it is a little bit more expensive based on where you are in Phoenix than certain places. But, you have to understand what don't just look at your mortgage, because there is going to be more than just a mortgage payment. You have to take into consideration that you're going to have utilities to pay, because if you are renting right now, those might be taken care of for you within the rent. So you want to keep that in mind, that you will have your mortgage, you'll have your utilities. Keep in mind if you have car payments. All of those things you have to take into consideration when talking about buying a house.
Absolutely.
In little things that you didn't know of. Could be if your child has to ride the bus to school and the school charges you to ride the bus. Keep those factors in mind and come up with a plan, and put a whole list together of what your income is and what's outgoing, and then that will help you to feel better about where you're at.
Yes, and we are not in the business to get you into a home that you cannot afford.
No, that is not my goal. I want someone in with all of my clients. There is no pressure, no stress. We want to look at, where you can afford to be, because I want you in the end to be happy. And I think that's what all of us want. We
Absolutely.
want, our clients to be happy and comfortable where they're at. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, talking to a mortgage or a lender is the first step that I recommend it all.
Yep, absolutely. So first-time buyers actually have, and really if you're not considered a first-time buyer, they have the opportunity for assistance programs that are available to them. And this is a great opportunity to start paying for your own mortgage instead of somebody else's.
Right. There's all kind of plans out there. I always recommend talking to a few different lenders because they all have different options. There's down payment assistance, there's first-time home buyers. So you never know what you might qualify for.
Right, and the mortgage lender will help with that.
Yep.
Closing costs, you touched base on a little bit. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but guess what? The buyer's agent gets paid by the seller. You don't have to pay for us. Why wouldn't you use us?
That's right. I think a lot of people, from the buyer's perspective, get a little nervous when even walking to open a house, and we're there and we're, offering you information. But just remember, the buyer's agent gets paid by the seller. So, don't be afraid to utilize the services of a buyer's agent.
And really, even with a home builder, it's really beneficial to have an agent to represent a buyer.
I definitely recommend having an agent when you're working with a home builder. They have their own mortgage, they have their own title, they are definitely looking out for their company. You want to have someone on your side.
Give you some live.
So if you guys are just joining us now,
them,
we are talking
reaching
about
for their
first-time
wines once in
buyers
a while.
buying a home. And if you have any questions, you can just type them in there, and we've got Ray on hand to ask us those questions, and we're happy to answer those questions for you. So a couple costs that are included in buying a home, regardless.
All right, so once again, guys, any questions you guys got, shout them out, put them in the chat. I'm happy to pass them along.
Do you want to talk about the earnest money?
Sure. The earnest money is basically your guarantee to the sellers that you are interested in this house and that you are going to move forward with the transaction. It's your skin in the game, basically. So that will come out of your pocket. It will be, furnished as at contract acceptance. So that is the first thing that would come out of pocket. The second thing after contract acceptance would be we go into what is called the inspection period, and the inspection would need to be paid for out of pocket. So that would be a cost. And then after that, the appraisal. Do you want to talk about the appraisal at all?
Yeah, the appraisal. So there's a difference between the inspection and the appraisal. The inspection is having somebody come through and look at everything in the house, from the outlets to the deck to the plumbing, everything that you can think of, the inspector goes through. And so you really want to know what you're getting yourself into. Now, the appraisal is basically, what is the home worth? And this will be assigned by the lender. We want to know that what you're getting your mortgage for, the home is actually worth that.
Right, exactly. And the appraisal, not to get into too many details, but there are, the appraisal can come in at cost, it can come over cost, which would benefit the buyer, and it can come under sometimes, and at that point it's a negotiation.
Yep.
So, but just to know
Absolutely.
that price is an out-of-pocket
At inspection or appraisal, absolutely.
Yes.
So let's talk about making a list of must-haves. What do you need in a home?
Right.
Write it down.
It is. And the best place to start, and everyone starts online these days, right? You think about buying a home, you're going to get on Zillow, you're going to get on Redfin, you're going to type in, home buying in Denver, Colorado. And you're going to get a list of, there's multiple websites out there. but start looking at them. Start seeing what you like in a house and make that list. Do you need a 3-car garage? Do you need to have the basement be finished? Do you want a walkout basement versus a garden level basement? So make those, that list of criteria up front, because it is really helpful to your agent when they know what you're looking for. But know that your agent knows that things will change. Things will change.
Do you need a 2-car garage? Do you need a 3-car garage for your toys? Yeah. For the kids' toys.
And be open and honest when you're walking through houses with your agent, because you may feel that you like this, but your agent can read your body language and they can read your facial expressions. And you may walk into a house that has everything. They've taken you to a house that has everything on your list that you wanted, but you walk in and you're like, that isn't really what I wanted. They can tell, but be honest and open with them so that you can update that list and edit that list as you go so that they can find that dream house for you.
Check a question online.
Oh,
it says, what are the things I will need to pay for when buying a home?
So we kind of went over that. Thank you for the question. When buying a home, if you're a first-time buyer, there's programs available that for down payment assistance. So if you qualify for that, then you're okay there. The other cost is the earnest money. Here in Colorado, we do about 1% of the purchase price. And the inspection cost is about $400 to $500, depending on what kind of inspection. If you do a sewer scope, a radon, and then for the inspector, and then for the appraisal, it's like $750. So those are some costs that you will need.
Those are the out-of-pocket costs that you will need before closing.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks for the question. So determine an area. We talked about that. You jump online, you determine the area that you want to be in. So we have been, do you want to answer? Do we have any other questions? Not right now. Okay. So Erin, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
If you guys have any questions, Erin will be around. If you think of anything, then let us know. We have Ray on hand. We've got Shelby over there. But we have been honored to have Mark Jackson here. He's a former Denver Bronco, and now he is he's in the field of helping people. He's passionate about that. And so he's here to help you get on track to buy a home. Mark, let's welcome Mark.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you. Erin's so knowledgeable about this whole home buying.
Isn't it great?
It's exciting to actually be here and
thank you. Thanks for coming.
Hear the information again. I am a 7-8-time homeowner, owned investment properties for a while, and like you guys said, it's always kind of a scary process when you go into it again. Want to give it up to Kourtney. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you.
One of the cool things that starts this whole buying process that many people it's left unknown or unnoticed is the credit issue. A lot of times people don't even know what their credit score is until they show up to buy a car or a home. And the process goes much more smoothly when you have an incredible credit score, something that maybe some of you have not paid attention to. Here's some basic statistics in the United States. Credit scores range from 300 to 850. FICO score is what mortgage companies use to determine whether you are credit eligible or not to own a home. About 61 million people out there have a credit score of 599 or less. So if your credit score is a little lacking right now, don't worry, you're part of the pack. No problem. We want to separate you from the pack, right? And begin to change that course that you're going on. More than half of Americans don't even know their credit score. And more importantly, people don't know how their credit scores even calculated. And one of the things that we found out is our education system has basically failed us, Kourtney. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what school you went to. What high school did you go to? Did you go to school here in Denver?
I did, yeah.
Which high school?
I went to Chatfield.
Chatfield High. Actually, I was there speaking with a good friend. John Cato's son just graduated from Chatfield High School. I didn't get the education in high school. I don't know about you. I didn't get it in college. I went to Purdue University, graduated from Purdue University with a degree in one hand and a financial illiteracy diploma in the other. I had no idea about this credit thing. So what I'm here to do is help people to get on the right track when it comes to credit. One of the things I like sharing with people, and you may be able to drop something if you're watching this on Instagram or if you're watching this on one of the social medias, maybe we'll drop this graphic for you. This is how your credit is calculated. So there's 5 components. How many?
5.
How many, everybody? 5 components. There's $5 foot loan, and there's 5 components to your credit score. This isn't Subway, but it's as simple as that. So the first component of your credit score is payment history. It's paying bills on time. I didn't get that. I thought the repercussions of not paying a bill on time was just the $35 late fee or $15 late fee. The repercussions of not paying your bills on time, one 30-day late, can drop your credit score as much as 50 to 100 points. Start thinking about that and look at your credit score where it is today and think about those late payments. Number 2, that's 35% of your credit score. 30% of your credit score is capacity. So the amount of credit that's extended to you, how much of that are you using? So are you maxed out on your credit cards, Kourtney? Personal question.
Yeah, total personal question.
She goes, what? I didn't know you were going to fire serious questions to me. Oh, I'm checking in my booth. Yeah, you're a realtor. You're out there impressing.
Maybe one. It's my marketing one.
There you go. My marketing credit card is maxed out. Now, here's the cool thing about it. We're being honest and we're getting naked here. It's Wine Wednesday.
It's Wine
Join
Wednesday.
us,
Cheers.
right?
I didn't even cheers.
Salute.
Mark.
Ah. So let me drink. So I did. You know, when I came out of college, you get a T-shirt. My roommate from college is here also. At the Purdue Student Union, they give you a T-shirt and a credit card. And what do? They don't give you instructions on how to use that credit card. Credit cards are to use to pay something now for convenience, that you have the money for the pay later, right? So what do we do with credit cards? You want those red shoes, honey? Get them today. You know, come on. We want to go to the Broncos game. It's $300, no problem. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Next thing you know, your credit card's maxed out. And when you max out those credit cards, you can drop your score as much as 100 points. So here's what they don't tell you. You want to keep your credit balances somewhere between 30% and 0. So I know when I first heard this, I was thinking, why in the heck would they give me $10,000 in credit if they only expect me to use $3,000? I didn't make the rules. They sound ridiculous to me too. But here's the thing I want you to understand is we need to play by the rules. If you want to be a homeowner, if you want to purchase a car or other things, like your insurance score, all these different things are impacted by your credit score. That's why this is the foundation. The third component of your credit score is length of credit. So if you have some old credit cards that you're thinking about just canceling or shutting down, don't do that. Keep those credit cards open because the longer you've had credit, the more credit eligible and credit worthy you are. Those 3 things alone make up 80% of your credit score. So when you look at new credit, companies do not like to see a lot of new credit open. So maybe you want to buy a new home and you're thinking, man, I don't have very many trade lines. Let me get about 5 or 6 credit cards. That will absolutely drop your credit score real quick. So it is a process. And when you start to understand credit, Kourtney, it's all about patience. Literally, if it took you 20 years, if it took you 10 years, if it took you 5 years to get into the situation you're in, don't expect to change that overnight. And then finally, types of credit. So credit bureaus like to see a mix of installment as well as revolving credit. So those are the 5, how many? 5 credit to 5 components to your credit score. So once you begin to understand that, you'll begin to get better rates on your insurance. Better rate. I thought insurance rates, drop a 1 in the chat room if you're watching this. Drop a 1 if you thought that your insurance rate was based on your driving, right? Did you have any accidents? Did you have any speeding tickets? How many people believe that? Drop a 1 if that's what you believe to be true. Well, it's not. You actually have an insurance credit score. You have an employment credit score, as well as an automobile credit score, which is totally separate from your mortgage credit score. So when I'm talking credit, I'm kind of getting deep here. I know we're talking about first-time home buyers, but I want you to understand and be ready, prepared. So when you go to sit down with Kourtney, you're ready to buy, and you can get into that home that you've always dreamed of. So here's the key. If you guys have made some mistakes, maybe you got ill and you have some medical bills on that, or maybe you decided to get higher education and you have student loans on that. Maybe you went through a bankruptcy or a foreclosure or a repo. Bad things happen to good people. We all know that. The government knows that. So they created this thing called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And we leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But once again, what you don't know, right? Knowledge is power. And when combined with action, you can actually get through this. Due to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you can dispute anything on your credit report. And I literally came up with this today. It's like our law system. When you go into a court of law, you are what? Innocent until proven what?
Guilty.
How many people are guilty in the court today? Guilty of bad credit. When I started with this program, I had a 548 credit score. I had an F.
We're getting real.
We're getting real. I just let it go. So when I started, I had an F as a credit score. Literally 5 months later, I went from an F to a C. I had a 699 credit score. Yes, 699 is a C. It's not until you get into the 700s that you get to become a B, right? Literally about a week ago, I refreshed my credit score. So I'm not only the hair club president, but I also am a user. I know. I'm actually following the rules of the game, right? Same rules that I'll share with you. And basically, I'm at 727 now. I am in the 700 club.
Yay!
Yay!
How long did it take you, Mark?
8 months.
8 months. Okay.
So 5 months, 6, 7 months really to get into the 700 club. I'm going into my 8th month. My goal when I started this process was 1 year. So once again, I know these guys are ready to sell you a house right now today. Hey, you can breathe, fog a mirror. Let's go. Let's get that house. I get it. But you don't want to waste their time, and you definitely don't want to waste your time. Let's get that credit repaired and let's get everything straight. So
Absolutely.
pretty much that's just a quick recap of what credit is. If you want more information on how you can actually increase your credit score, I was going to give you some tips on how to remove bankruptcy and all that cool stuff. But I thought I'd just give you the foundation of education. I love educating people. I wish I was a school teacher or a football coach, because that way you can speak into people's lives. But unfortunately, they don't pay enough. So I am here educating people on their credit scores and helping them to win. I want everybody to win. So you can text ACTION to 303-520-4365. That's ACTION to 303-520-4365. And because I'm here with Kourtney and Wine Wednesday, if you do that today, I'll actually give you $100 off of your credit repair. You can actually get started today for as little as $89. Also, if you just want to get educated, more educated around your credit, you can check out JacksonCreditRepair.com. That's JacksonCreditRepair.com, and literally begin on this road to 850 to being a new homeowner and enjoying what I think is probably one of the best features of being an American is home ownership. There's a certain amount of pride that's associated with owning a home, and I thank you for actually providing that with people and helping usher them into home ownership.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yeah.
Any questions on credit repair?
Preguntas. Questions. Questions. Yes, ma'am.
Usually I don't believe in, paying credit by yourself.
Absolutely.
So do you know how to Lexus? Have you heard of that?
I have not. No, I haven't heard of Access Less. So her question was,
Is it LexisNexis?
LexisNexis. Yeah, Nexus. See, and that's one of the issues with credit repair. You can get it counter right, or you can get it all the way right. If I wanted to change the oil in my car, I could do that. But instead of changing the oil myself, I usually just drive it into the Jeep dealership, let them park it up on a deal and fix it for me. And some of you guys, something is not rocket science. I've given you the 5 components of your credit score. So yes, you can have an 800 credit score. So don't believe that, I've screwed up so bad. It's almost like it's almost like redemption. I feel like I'm at church right now. Hey, come up to the altar, ladies and gentlemen. Any sin that you have transgressed can be removed. It's true. So never heard of Lexus, but if you can go there and actually start to figure that out, God bless you, make it happen. But if you want me to do it, you need to text ACTION to 303-520-4365, and I'll get it done for you. I have a proven system that works, and I'll do that for you.
It's important to, you had posted something the other day about having good credit. You had mentioned, what was it, the 700 to get you an extra $100,000 in a home purchase. It's important to have good credit. For the programs that are first time buyer programs, people have to have at least a 620 for those programs as far as their credit goes. But interest rates are reflected on that.
Right. One of the things that people don't realize when they're looking to get into a new home is, hey, the difference between a 5.25% interest rate and a 3.85 interest rate is about $70,000 to $80,000 over the course of
30 years
of a mortgage. Exactly. And we're talking about a $300,000 to $400,000 house. So here's the deal. Here's a stat that you guys may be interested in. The average American is going to spend somewhere between $100,000 upwards to $1 million in added interest expense over their lifetime. What does that mean? That means when you're financing your car at 16% instead of 3 or 4%, you start adding up the numbers on that over your lifetime. You're making multiple car purchases. Maybe you've gone into your second home now. The insurance rates that you're paying, once again, there's utilities. If you've ever had to put a deposit down for utilities, it's a pretty good indication that you have bad credit, right? Cell phones. They look at your credit report. Anyone ever buy a cell phone? Yeah, they pull your credit report. Why? That's just the way it is. It's just, as Jim Rohn said, I didn't make up the makeup. So the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. What I want you to do is win. And the best way to win is to actually know the rules of the game. Good or good?
Good. And I also think too, when we're looking at what it's going to cost to, is it $89, what it's going to cost to get your credit in line and in check to purchase a home. Let's look at if somebody's renting, what is that going to cost you? A lot more than the $100 or whatever it's going to take.
$89 a month. Yeah, you can start doing the math on that. Here's the thing is, unfortunately, we're all creatures of habit. So if you got into a bad situation with your credit report, what makes you feel like you're going to be all of a sudden different? One of the great things that you get when you hire me as well is you get my tutelage. You get me as an accountability partner. And I'm going to teach you a lot more than just, I'm not here just to fix your credit for a transaction. I'm going to teach you how to fish. So I don't want to give you a fish for a day. That's what separates me from everyone else. The young lady in the audience said, hey, I could do it with Nexus Lexus. Well, once again, we're creatures of habit. If you can do it, why haven't you done it? And some of you may just be getting this information for the first time. Awesome. If that's something, if that's a road, you have enough discipline to do that, go for it. It's a new year. Let me get a health club membership. What happens after 2 months? The health clubs are empty.
Empty. Are you going to use it?
Yeah. I'm here to get you that new home. I'm here to get you that 800 credit score. And $89 is not enough for my service, but I absolutely love you. So I would do that for you. It's just what we do. It's really not, it's a nominal amount, as you were sharing, when it comes to the grand scheme of things. The average American, I'm not even counting renting as opposed to owning a home, the equity that you would be building in a home, especially in this market.
And that's just it. When I had said that, it has cost people a lot more in Colorado for the last 5 years in equity.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Equity has been huge here in Colorado and really nationwide.
Nationwide, we're in a thriving economy right now. And here's the cool thing about home ownership too, is it's forced savings. It's a forced savings plan. So, home ownership, once again, it's the pride of home ownership, the ability to build equity. It's forced savings plan for you. And more importantly, I think it's just a peace of mind that you get when you own a home.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to wrap it up. You're going to wrap it up? I guess we have about 5-6 minutes left.
Questions.
Okay. Any other questions?
Ray, do you have any questions?
Yes.
We can.
So here's the question. I'll capsulize this. So Ray said there's a question out there that what's the typical time frame to actually begin to get into that 700 club or to increase your score? So here's the deal. No matter where you are, it's going to take 45 to 90 days to actually start to see some results in your credit score. It is a process. The credit bureaus get 30 days to verify any dispute. So for me, like I said, I started in May. It took me 5 months to get to 699 from 548. Just to give you an idea or a snapshot of my credit score, I had a bankruptcy on that credit report. I had 3 charge-offs on that credit report. I had 6 late payments, and I had a repo. So if you are looking at your credit report and say, nah, you don't understand, mine is really, really bad. I was able to go from 548 to 699 with that, using that process of disputing the things that are on your credit report. So you can begin to put together a timeline for yourself, as you can use that sort of as a gauge. But I would tell you 6 months on a program like this will absolutely not only make you homeowner qualified, but get you a pretty great rate.
That's fair.
In the 720s, I'm 727 now at 7 months. In the 720s, you're now starting to get to A paper when it comes to buying a home.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
So another quick question. What, if you recommend anything, what do you recommend for monitoring your credit on an ongoing basis? Is it an app? Is it, a method?
There's a couple things that we have out there. Yeah, smart credit.
Do you want to repeat the question?
Oh yeah. So what's a good credit monitoring system? Credit Karma is by far the one that was first to the market. It's something that everybody gets use. It's very simple to use. They have TransUnion. So the setback on that is they have TransUnion and Equifax. They don't have Experian. But there's another one called it's locking me up. If you Google it, you can find it. Experian. It's an Experian service that actually gives you the Experian score. I'm just starting to realize that. Here's the issue that you have with Credit Karma. Credit Karma will give you your Advantage score. Advantage is a scoring system, not used for mortgages. Mortgages use the FICO system. So those are 2 different systems for rating people's credit. They have a little different weight on late payments versus the amount of credit that you're using. So the Advantage score may say 700 on Credit Karma. You roll into your mortgage banker and they say you have a 610. It's because of the difference between the Advantage score and your FICO score.
That makes sense.
So just understand that when you're going into it. But from the question that Ray gave us, you do want to be able to monitor. Here's the deal. What you focus on expands. What you think about, you bring about. She told you earlier, if you're focusing on green, you're not going to see red. So here's the key. You need to focus on your credit score because it's the foundation of your wealth long term. I am just a huge proponent, passionate about people getting into the 700, 800 club because it's not difficult to do. It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. That's the slight edge, the compound effect. If you've ever read that book, you'll begin to get it. And you're hearing it from a 56-year-old African-American who didn't get it. And some of us grew up we had dinner with the wrong dinner table. Good people, loving people, but they didn't share very much about finances, credit, leverage, and how you can become wealthy and begin to enjoy life in this country, great country of ours. Yeah. Okay. So Ray said, is there some resources out there that you can use, maybe YouTube channels or things that you can use? Folks, we live in the age of communication, the information superhighway called the internet, www. When I say that on my show, the guy said, man, you are so old. You're saying www in front of things. You can Google anything.
I'm there with you.
So if you don't get this information, if you haven't found a resource, it's only because you're a lazy bum. Yes. Get off your butt, man. Go out and find the information. I can't give you a resource right now. I will probably, if we do this again, I'll look at stuff like that, because literally I just been focusing on the clients that I have and focusing on helping them individually. So haven't really gotten big into the mainstream yet, where I'm doing hundreds of thousands of people and I need to give them a resource. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, Ray asked for my handles. You can check me out at mjax80 on Instagram and on Twitter. I don't tweet a lot, but I think Twitter's more for sports. Some people use it for their news, but occasionally I'll throw some tweets out there if I'm feeling passionate about something. But Instagram is a great place to find me. You can find me on Facebook. If you check Mark Jackson, you'll see a football picture on there, or passive income on Facebook. You just put that in the search bar, passive income, I'll show up. And literally that's what it's all about. You can text once again, action to 303-520-4365. I promise I will get you. It's not about the money for me. Literally that $89 a month is what I use to sustain my business, to grow my business so I can help more people.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's
Kourtney,
one.
I forgot I had my mic muted. That's so freaking funny. Epic, epic, epic. All right, so because I didn't want it on their feed. But you guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, super fun. Really glad you guys could have joined us. I appreciate the people that tuned in, that watched, that came throughout, that asked questions, and we're really going to continue to do this on an ongoing basis. Mark Jackson's awesome, so hopefully we'll have him, continue to be involved and just providing financial literacy on an ongoing basis at no cost to you guys. So if you enjoyed it, certainly share it with your friends. Let people know for the next one. We'll put out the dates well in advance. I know we kind of did this to you last second. Apologize. Wasn't my fault. But you guys know me. I just make things happen. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Raymond Trinkle III, and as always, stay real, be authentic, and be fucking positive, man. Be a good influence. Make a difference. I'm out.